Hey, what's up guys, I'm Ben, welcome to the channel. Over the last year, I've been prepping the Gen 3 KLR 650 for some, I guess, intense off-road riding for KLR 650 standards anyways. But now this next year, I plan on taking this thing on some sort of backwoods camping adventures. And I've got a few things that I've got to do yet. I've got some soft luggage that needs to get put on. I might look into redoing the suspension too, but today I'm actually going to be pulling these 10-degree spot beam Nilight lights off of here. I installed these last time. If you guys missed the video, I did sort of a quick install and just wired them directly to the factory plug under here, which is that guy. This gets powered anytime you turn the key on, as long as you've got the relay put in here. If you don't have the Adventure model would have come with that, and would have come with fog lights anyway. These are a nice, bright, very, very pointed beam, and because they just come on with my low beams, they're kind of a little bit too much. I had to aim them down and to the sides to make them safe for riding. Now, honestly, wiring a switch into the circuit probably would have made these very usable and probably a nice addition to the high beams. But I wanted something with just a little bit more fill, so today we're going to be swapping those lights out for these. These are definitely going to be a little bit bigger, and they're really kind of a neat looking light. Now, unlike the other ones, these are going to have 3 connections here. One is going to be just to do the middle strip here in the center, and then the other one is going to be to light up both these 4 LEDs and then the side shooters. And then of course we got our ground. And I will actually be using the wiring harness that came along with this. However, I am going to be doing a little bit of work on this to make it work the way that I want it to. Now, you could just snip that factory plug off, but I opted to actually use the factory plug. You basically just take off the, I think it's the male part of it. These will just get crimped on to your wires, and then this just pops right into those terminals, and then you can just plug it right into the bike. Here's the plug. So this is all stuff that I've added in here. Basically, this thing is what you get from the factory. And there's those little terminals down inside of there. So I got these old ones pulled off, and we'll swap them out for the new ones. I'm just gonna be pointing these things straight ahead, but just to give you an idea, the bracket does have a little bit of range of motion. You could point it down a little bit, and then it's got quite a bit that way. So if you needed to mount it like that, you could. These wires, I'm just gonna run right through like I did last time. There's a little hole in the body work there. I can't imagine that this thing is waterproof, and I don't really want to have to deal with clicking buttons when I'm riding anyways, so what I'm going to do is just snip this off. There should be 3 wires in here, one of which is just a hotline, and then that gets connected when you click these buttons to the other 2 lines in here, which are the running light circuit and then just the regular light circuit. So the running light, I'm just going to connect directly to the hotline in here, so it comes on anytime that this is electrified, which this is going to be electrified anytime the key's on. And the other line, I'm actually just going to connect right to my high beam circuit on the bike, so I'll just tap in behind the headlight with this guy. So that means the center strip here should come on just anytime the key is on, and then these 4 lights as well as the side shooters should come on anytime I flip my high beam switch on. Honestly, I think that's just the safest way to go about it. You don't have to mess around with another switch. You also don't have to find a spot for a switch. It's just super easy, one switch on and off. High beams come on, auxiliary lights come on, high beams go off, auxiliary lights go off. Look at the main power and ground snipped off here. So to get these wires connected, I'm actually going to use something new today. So I bought a bunch of these as well as a heat gun. So basically there's just solder in here that connects these 2, then it's a waterproof connection, and it actually keeps it sort of glued together too. So I guess we'll see how these go. Gets slipped over one side. I believe white was hot. I think we just stick these wires together. They say to twist them, but I don't know how you would twist them at this point. It seems like that worked, but I don't really like how thin this sheathing is. There's actually a stray wire here that I think could easily poke through this. Doesn't seem like a good idea, so I guess I'll just wrap this up in some electrical tape. There we've got our power. Then we've got the connections for the lights here. I think I'm just going to snip off these connectors and install some waterproof bullet connectors instead. So I've got all the wiring from the lights connected to the main harness down in here, and I've actually just kind of got them stuffed up inside of the fairing here. I don't know how well that's going to work, if they're going to want to rattle loose, but I actually just threw a zip tie over that, and that really kind of keeps them out of the way pretty nice. So the next thing I'm going to do here before I start clipping any wires is connect the switch, just so I know that everything is working before I start trying to connect wires and blow fuses. I feel like I've got a winch controller here or something. Alright, so let's see, this should be running, I think. There we go. And then if we turn this one on, there. Those are not half bad. Yeah, this thing is a pretty chintzy controller, I think. KLR would probably rattle this thing right apart, but now at least you know that they work. So then I can trim this side and just start connecting wires and see what happens. So I've got this snipped off and all the wires stripped. The black wire is just hidden inside of the sheath here. That is just going to be a ground. The red line is the feed line. The yellow is going to be the running light. So if I connect power to the running light, we get the running lights on, and then again if we take that hot red wire and connect that to the white wire, then the spot and floodlights come on. So now it's just a matter of connecting the red and white permanently, so the running lights come on anytime the key is on, and then I will take this white wire and we'll tap that one into the high beam. So after a bit of digging around in here, I've finally got my headlight wire unplugged here. This is going to be the side that leads to the headlight, so I've actually got to get in and test the other one. This is a real pain in the butt, but I've got this connected to the terminal that corresponds with the green wire on the headlight side. We've got 0 volts right now. If we flip the high beam on, and we've got 11.8 volts. So that means that green wire is going to be the one we're going to tap into. Yellow and red wire both twisted together and stuck in one of these little heat shrink solder deals. So we're going white from the harness to green. That's where this thing is going to come in handy. Take the bottom off here and slip that over my wire, and then this is just going to get threaded onto here, and the little spike in there will penetrate the sheathing and connect to the wire. And then I've just got to take this little cap off at this end, and basically what's going to happen is this will smash the stripped end of the wire down onto here. So now if I plug this back in and turn this on, we should have all of our lights lit up. Turn the high beam off, lights go dim, the running lights stay on. Not bad. So I'm just going to get all the wires zip tied up into safe locations so they're out of the way of the bars swinging, they're out of the way of any sticks that might get thrown up inside the plastics there, and then we'll take this thing out and see how they look on the road. So once again, we're going to use the very sophisticated method of covering the lights up with my hands. Get this thing fired up. So this is just going to be the low beam with the little running lights on the pod lights, and we'll flip over to the high beam. So high beam on the bike is going to come on, and the auxiliary lights are going to power up. There we go. Definitely much brighter than the high beam. I don't know how well you guys will be able to see this. When I cover this up, you should be able to tell though. There we go. So there's our high beam, and there's our auxiliary lights. The high beam on here is not great, but these sure are a lot better than they are. It is, you know what I mean. All right, we'll take this thing out onto the road and see how they look out there. That just makes such a huge difference. I always remember thinking that the high beam was nice as far as throwing light, but it only threw it straight down the road, never really into the ditches at all. And I mean, now these things pretty much outshine the high beam, and they are, I mean, probably, what, 4 times as wide? See if we can get these covered up without tipping over. There we go. Definitely had some light. Let's see how these things look out in the lake. Why not, right? What we got going on here? A plowed course? Look at that. I don't know that I really want to mess around in the ice, though. That definitely lights things up. Yeah, it's a little bit of grip to the ice. Ooh, not quite enough though.
We'll just make our exit here. This should be a little bit more better for the KLR and the non-studded tires. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm blind out here without these things. Hopefully I can get going again. This is my first ever light test out on the lake. It's probably completely worthless because they're just going to sort of disappear into the abyss, but I don't care. If I can get out and ride my KLR on the lake at night, you're darn right I'm going to do it. Why not? Ooh, I like those. Alright, one more donut, and then I'm heading home to watch some TV with the wife. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. If this video was helpful to you, let me know down in the comment section. Hit that like button. Let me know if you're going to do this same thing to your KLR. I'm really very, very happy with that. I don't care what kind of lights you go with. If you want to pick these up, they'll be linked down in the description. But something set up like this, I think, is definitely the way to go with that. Tapping into the high beam. Hopefully I can get out of here now. Woo! Woo! So get it done and get out and do some night riding. See you guys later. Take care, stay safe, and stay swanky. The way I wanted to go. Actually surprised how well these tires are doing, but I don't want to put it to the test right next to somebody's house. Uh-oh. Come on, make it up the icy hill. Woo! Thank you, D Sports.